Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everybody today? So good, I hope. Even if you're not good, you know what? You will be by the end of this class. Hey, Tony, how are you? So nice to see you. So nice to see you. I thank you for supporting me and, just making stuff with my stuff. That just tickles me to no end. I love that. I love that you're just sneaking a little bit. Hey Jamie, how are you? So good, I hope. Hi Jackie Washington, you must be new here. Hey Carmen. So Jackie, if you could follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate it. And once you follow me on those things, if you would ask to join our private Facebook group, Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott, I would really appreciate it, and you will too, because it's the best little community you've ever been a part of. We are supportive and kind and artsy. What could be finer? Not much. One of the 3 questions that you'll be asked to join the private Facebook group is for your email address. I would greatly appreciate it if you would do that, because that's the way I can continue to build my community, and that's how I am able to let you know the artsy happenings in my world. And I promise you're going to want to be a part of it, because it's so fun. It's so fun. So, for people who are new, once a week, twice a week actually, we have a pop-in paint party. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock, we come here and hang out and get artsy with my art printables. My art printables are how I make my living. So they are available on my website, Corbiere-Scott and each one comes with artwork for a slimline, an A2, and an independent piece of art, and then at least 2, sometimes 3 sentiments. So we're going to use this today, the Aunt Myrrh. They're all named after people who are super special to me. Then on Saturdays, we do a little bit of art history, artist study, and a little bit of art journaling. We study an artist and their art, and then we're inspired by that, and we create in our art journals in that kind of a way. Hey Sharon, I got your message, and you're in like Flynn, and I will put you in the group today. Hey Nancy, hey Keely. So what I'm talking about with Sharon is, once a month I do offer a couple of, well, right now just one, but I will be offering more than one paid artsy class, and this one is Bible journaling, and it is called Let's Get Artsy with Our Bibles, and this one will be held on December 19th from 9 to 11 in the morning. And again, we'll have a private Facebook group and exclusive artwork that I draw just for this class, exclusive sentiments that I hand letter just for this class, and then I will paint alongside of you, and so you will we will work right beside each other. So you'll see my process, and you'll also see I'll kind of give you as many tricks and tips as I can along the way. So if you would like to sign up for this class, Let's Get Artsy with Our Bibles, December 2020, That is, the signups are on my website, and Corbiere-Scott-Designs.com. So, today I am feeling like, oh, one more thing. I was thinking about, I'm making a page on my website for my licensed products, but I thought I would start talking about it here. All of my Adorn It art products are available here at buyitlive.co, you know, blah 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 blah. I will put links on my website and on my Linktree profile on my Instagram. The Adorn It is already there, but I need to add Unity and Funky Fossil Designs. Unity is at unitystamp.co or unitystampco.com, and Funky Fossils is at funkyfossildesigns.blogspot.co.uk if you are in the UK. If you are in the States, you can purchase those items at Frantic Stamper, www.franticstamper.com. So that's that. So, hey, let's talk about Color Burst. I have been seeing so many cool cards that people have made with Color Burst. And I haven't pulled my Color Burst out in forever and a day. But I was like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. So like I said, my artwork comes like this, right, on one whole sheet. So we're going to cut it apart because I want to use, because color bursts they burst with color and it kind of goes everywhere. So I'm going to cut these all apart so that we can, hey Renee, so that we can create 3 separate little artsy creations. So I almost always print on watercolor paper, but this is super thin watercolor paper. It is by Northwoods, and it is, I'm guessing, I couldn't find the weight anywhere, but I'm guessing between 80 and 90 pound. It's thin, and it will run through your printer. That's why I like it, because it will run through your printer and it has watercolor properties. So it's not as textured as like Canson, or the fancy stuff like Arches or anything. But it can still take a lot of water, and and you can still blend. You have some time to move that color around. If you're on regular cardstock, you don't have much wiggle room. But if you're on watercolor, you have a little bit of wiggle room to move your color around. And so that's why I really like this. So, so I wanted to talk about Color Burst a little bit. So I just have a piece of regular watercolor paper here because I wanted to show you Color Burst, and then we can paint on the art printables. Because I just wanted to test out some colors, and yes, thinner watercolor paper is the best. Okay. So this is Color Burst. So Ken Oliver are the ones that I have. Some other companies have come out with some, but I find his to be the nicest. So it is watercolor pigment that is concentrated, and it is in a powder. It has a fine tip applicator. Do you see that? So you're just going to tap. I know it looks like I hardly have anything on there, but that's the cool thing about these. So that was Peony, and let's do some sap green. And I'm not putting much at all because it's super saturated and super spready. I don't know a better way to say it. Okay, marigold. Let's do something yellow. So I have a yellow ochre. No. Naples yellow. I have a lemon yellow. Let's try a lemon yellow. That's nice and bright. Okay. What kind of blues do I have? Ooh, ultramarine. Let's try that because that's nice and bright. And purple. What do we have? Oh, violet. So you're going to see a full range of colors here. And I'm going to keep these colors separated so they're the ones that I know that I'm using. Okay, so you sprinkle it on your paper and then you're going to take a, just some water. There, do you see it? Do you see the magic happening? Right? And do you see how it kind of goes everywhere? So I like to play with spraying it with a sprayer that has a pretty big flow, and then I like to play with like a mister because that's going to have a fine mist of color, right? And then the cool thing is you can tap some more colors. They are by Ken Oliver. There, do you see that? I hope that you can see his name, Ken Oliver. They're beautiful. They're amazing. Okay, so here we kind of have some, oh, no problem. That's why I'm here. So let's put a little bit more peony. I know it seems like you can't, like I'm hardly putting anything down, but as soon as so now let's try this water, this squirter. So I like when that I can get some big areas of, like some speckly areas. I love that. But I can also move some color around with my brush, right? So many girls are doing this now and then stamping on top of it, which is unbelievable. So there's a girl on Instagram, and her name is Natasha Vaca. I bought mine in a set too, like a really long time ago. And I think it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I kind of like when it, we just need to pull those supplies that we had a long time ago out so we can play with them some more. Anyway, Natasha Vaca, I think it's Natasha Vaca 02 or 03, something like that. Anyway, she did this technique with my Funky Flowers, my Funky Flower stamp from Unity. And so I thought, you know what? I want to play with it with my art printables. So I'm going to set this aside to dry because you can do a million things. You can hit it with your heat gun and then fiddle some more and some more and some more. So let's set this aside to dry and let's clean up this. Oh, we should probably tap this paper into that. I don't like wasting color. Right? Shut up! That's so pretty! Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so now this we're just going to wipe up with our paint cloth. And I'll show you some some techniques that, so once I saw that, I kind of got on a, you know how you get into a YouTube rabbit hole and a Facebook, what is it? IGTV rabbit hole, where you just keep watching videos and videos and videos. So let's start with this one. So I'm feeling like I want to do like a color family and then fiddle around with it a little bit. So let's try, I like orange and pink. So let's try orange, pink, and yellow. So let's just sprinkle some of the orange. So I'm going to see if I just put the yellow in the center and then the orange and then the pink. Let's see what happens. And the pink kind of with the orange. Let's see what happens. I mean, that's what, I swear, that's what it's all about. Hey, Kelly. Now let's just sprinkle it. I should have put this, well, let's try it a couple different ways. Here's the beauty of color burst. You can do them in a million different ways. So we can do it like this and just stick our piece of paper down into it and rub the back so we get a nice coverage of color. Look at how pretty that is. Stop it. And then set that aside to dry. And we can add, so then just keep that piece of watercolor paper like your scratch so that you can use up all of that color. You should never waste color because we can do all kinds of things on top of this, right? All kinds. All right, so now let's wipe up this color. Hi, Aunt Mer. All right, so this is starting to curl. So let's oh, it's looking pretty, you guys. It's looking so pretty because those three colors work so nice. But do you see how it's like one color just kind of blurs into the next? Super fun, super fun. So now that we've done this, we can have a paper towel at the ready so we can now build on that, right? So we can add a little bit more orange, see what happens, and a little bit more yellow. That might be a lot because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so now let's try the mister instead and see. And you can see it like as it gets wet, it just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. That brightened it up, didn't it? And then, like I said, you can come in with your paintbrush and you can move some of that color, right? So you can pull some of this orangey red and move it like this. And you can paint it in other areas, right? There's no right or wrong. You can do whatever you want. I love that. So pretty. You know, I like it to be kind of deeper color right here at the center of the flower and then kind of work its way out. So I can move some of this deeper orange from down here and move it up. And pull some of that orange into the pink. Look how pretty that is. Do you see how this just adds like a whole new something you can do? So if you have them, pull them out. And you could certainly do this same kind of idea with your watercolors. I just wanted to share something that had been sitting in my paint drawer for a while, and I saw these other girls doing stuff with it, and it was just, oh, so pretty. So I'm adding a little bit more pink. I kind of like to, remember I told you I like it when there's some speckles. That's kind of cool. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. I know that I said I hate that, but I want to show you another cool thing. So this is super wet, and it's going to take a little while to dry, you know, not the normal amount. So I'm going to pick it up and try drying some from the underneath. Sometimes that helps. And then I think that it helps when the air goes through the whole paper. And I want to play with those drips and get them to go down the petals. I think that's such a cool, it's just like a natural kind of gully for the paint to go down. So I'm kind of chasing them down. All right, that's good enough, I think. Okay, now another thing I wanted to try is, just like with distress inks, if we just sprinkle, I know, don't you, Keels? It's kind of, okay, so I'm sprinkling some water in my hand and then flicking it onto the flower. Now I'm going to let it sit there for a second. And then we're going to take our paper towel and remove it. See what happens, and let's fold it in half. Soak up a little bit more. Look at that, it's so pretty. Right? I'm loving that. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. And we can just keep, again, we can continue to grow it and grow it and grow it as much as we want. So I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to, let's do the individual flowers. So this one, you know what? That's so funny, Tony, because I was toying with, should I do the trees? Should I do some flowers? Should I do the trees? Should I do some flowers? I just love these flowers, and I felt like I could fiddle around. You know what? I've been kind of on a roll with the Christmas trees, so I was I'll just do some flowers. Okay, so for this flower, since we used pinks and yellows and oranges, let's use violet, ultramarine, and sap green. Let's see what that. But you know what? I kind of dig the yellow center. So for this one, we're just going to tap the color right onto the watercolor paper, much like we did on the first, on our tester sheet. Okay, so let's start with some yellow in the center, but remember, it's not exact. That's for sure. And then some ultramarine. It's so cool because when you spray it, you get to see all of the colors that come together to make that color. Just in these little teeny specks. I just love that. Okay, now I'm going to do, oh, that's a lot. That is violet. So let's spray this one. Oh, look at that. Right? So we can, and I didn't even sprinkle any of the green. Look at that. We already have some green there. So we can come back in with the mister and mist some of the edges. That's cool. Right? That's super dark though, isn't it? So let's take some of it off and see what happens. Ooh, pretty, pretty, pretty. Right? And then we could, what about some of this marigold in the center? That might be pretty. You have 2 boxes by the front door, Jeff. They're too heavy for me to bring in. He works on projects too, just different than me. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Okay, so again, we can do the same thing where we can pull, like this feels really dark. So we can pull with our paintbrush. Remember, just like when we use watercolors, right? We can pull some of that off. We can paint it in different areas. And because we're on watercolor paper, we can really manipulate it. We can make it a watery wash. We can remove some of it if we want. So let's, like we can take this bigger, it's a number 6 brush. We can remove some of this purple that's super deep right here. We can just remove it with our brush. We can just get it wet and remove it with our paper towel. So here, we can wet this area. So I'm pulling some of it with my paintbrush. I'm pulling that with the paper towel. See how that, oh, I like that. And then we can, again, wet paintbrush, move that color, right? Water. I love that there's like all of this kind of psychedelic-y right here. Shut up. Look at that. That turquoise and green, lime green and orange. How pretty is that? I love that. So we can take a little bit of this orange, right, just on the tip of our brush and add it to some other areas. That's kind of cool. So maybe like we'll take some from here and add it to the tips of these. It is a process, but come on. Isn't that what we live for? A new artsy process, a new way to play with our art supplies, you know? I mean, and just like any project that we do, you can certainly you could certainly play with what was it? like build, like you could certainly do some colored pencils on top of it if you'd like. You could, you know, you could do whatever you want. So let's see. So let's clean up this, and then we have the Mac Daddy. How are we doing on time? We're about halfway through. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so let's get this wet. Pull the dog hair out of it. Honestly, it's the story of my life. Everything is covered in dog hair. Okay, so now I have this one. I'm going to change my water because it's mighty purple. Okay, so this one, I really want to fiddle around with. That's a goner. Good thing I have lots of paper towels here. So we're going to set this one aside to dry too. So this one, because we have lots kind of going on here, I was thinking, I don't know, what do you think about, I could do like a, I did blues and purples, and I did orange and pinks. This one I could do kind of a combo, with a little bit of green. I think that might be cool too. So let's continue with the, so I'm going to try to be a little bit strategic in my color tapping, but remember that it's going to do its own thing anyway, right? So this one I'm thinking oranges and yellows up here. Let's see what happens when I try to make a plan. Who knows, right? This one, I feel like I want some yellow in the center. Oops. This one too. I just really like that yellow in the center. And then let's do this one just in blues maybe. So do you see why it's advantageous to, you know what's so funny is when you're tapping this ultramarine down, it looks almost like charcoal gray. But you know when you tap it with some color, it's going to be something totally different. So let's try a little bit of that peony on there with that blue. I wonder, I'm just curious what's going to happen there. And then let's try some peony here. And then I'm feeling like these little flowers, let's try those in violet. Ugh! Ugh! A giant chunk fell out. All right, let's see if we move that a little bit. Yikes. Hey, Jean. Okay, so now let's try this mister. I feel like it's a little bit finer of a spray than this and not as fine as this. So let's see what happens. Okay, stop it. Look how pretty that is. Okay, let's, so this is feeling, okay, so I like to hold my painting down with a paintbrush. I really like it just the way it is, especially this flower up here. I'm going to try and hit it with the heat gun a little bit up here. That's just going to secure that color. I just love that it looks like there's all different colored petals. I love that. Who'd have thunk it, right? And then this one, Okay, so now let's remove some of that and see where we're at. That's a lot of color. Absolutely. Bye, Tony. I'm so glad you came. Thanks for stopping in. Hi, Angie. How are you? We are playing with Color Burst and my art printables, and we are using the Aunt Mer art printable today. Remove some of this purple because that's pretty intense. But seriously, look at this blue. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. So down here, we're looking like we could use some help. So we do have all of this color that's right here. Do you see it? So we could pick this up with our paintbrush, right? And we could come in and do that darkest part, right? The darkest part of the flower, which is where the petals meet the center, right? So we could do that, and then we can do our old trick, rinse our brush, tap it off on our water, on our paint cloth, and then just tap out that, soften that edge by just tapping it out, tapping it out. It's just a cool way to get some really organic, unusual colored flowers, right? Something that cannot be duplicated. And I love that. Don't you? Don't you love that? Like nobody else could make one just like yours. Never. And I'm loving this where we have, look at this. So pretty. So maybe let's try a little bit more peony down here. And then spray. And then I just really, if I can, I really like to let it dry naturally. This seems a little bit dark, so I do want to remove that. Yeah. Oops. Do you know what I mean? Because I really like that, how that red, which is really pink, is kind of moving, and a little bit of speckly. I'm loving that. I'm loving it. Okay, I'm going to set this over here. And then I'm going to do that same thing I've been doing. I'm going to bring back this, I don't know, kind of an art journal page, you know? I'm just going to try and soak up as much of that color as I can. Look, it's so pretty. And I love that there's all those little specks of color in there too. So pretty. Okay, so let's clean this up. So much, look at all the colors. Red, blue, purple. I love that. Okay, so one of the girls that I saw, her artwork today, so this is pretty wrinkly, right? So we're going to have to break up those fibers. All right, so what she did, so the one more thing that you can do with Color Burst is that you can use it like paint. So I don't have a a palette up here, so I'm just going to use my craft mat. So if we take something dark, because we want this to pop, right? So let's take this Terra Verde. What else do we have? Green. Phthalo green. Let's try this one. So I'm just going to tap a little bit out there. And to be safe, I'll set this over here to dry. And I'm going to move this away while I spray this with water. There, do you see? I've made some paint. So now I'm going to take my smaller brush and I'm going to paint in the background so we have some contrast. So it might take a couple of coats to get the depth that I really want, but I think we'll be happy in the end. Isn't that beautiful? I'm telling you, it's so pretty. And remember, we can overshoot the edge because we're cutting it down anyway. So just, know that inspiration is out there everywhere. So many girls, I shouldn't just say girls, so many artists are out there sharing what inspired them, or when they pulled their old art supplies out, and what how they're using them in a new and fresh way, and then you can pull yours out and use yours in a new and fresh way. I think that's fabulous, because we've all got all kinds of stuff, don't we? And I love that, like, some of this background is covered with paint and some of it is white, so the green really shows in that little tiny speck right there. We can do right here. And then all the way up here. I think that is going to be, shut up, fabulous, right? Because it's going to bring that green all the way up. Look at that. Almost around. And this one looks like I'm going to go all the way up too. Yep. This whole area. Right? And then we could do a little bit of that green up here to kind of tie it all together. Because I bet there's a little bit of this in nature. Right, a little bit of green in the center of the flowers. Okay. And now we're going to rinse our brush, tap it off, and then let's soften this up here. We're just going to kind of have it fade right out. So it's not a harsh line. It's just kind of a presence. You know what I mean? So wet, tap off, and then let's just work that out. off some more. Work so I can get a better angle at that. There we go. Pull that color off, wipe it on my paint cloth. Me too, Nance. Pull out your color bursts. You know? So then, okay, so we just want that little bit of depth, right? So that phthalo green is just, like I said, it's just kind of like a presence. It's not overwhelming. It's not too much, right? And then soften that. Solomon, just a minute, babe. And then the piece de resistance. Well, I kind of am liking that it's just kind of watery and, you know, whatevs. Let's tap off that, just that little bit of wet that I have going on there. And then let's pull in our bleed-proof white. Right? And let's get a clean brush, because good gravy, who knows how many other colors are on that one. Clean water. Pull some bleed-proof white. And then just make it like a little bit of watercolory, you know, and then just to brighten that up. Oh my gosh, I'm slightly in love with this. It looks like a painting, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. And wait until we cut it down and we put it on a mat and we make a card out of it and put a little sentiment on there. Wait until that day. And look at all of I just love like the depth with all of those layers, like the color layer and then the water splotch layer and then more color and then the white and then the little bit of green. Come on. So beautiful. So let's see what else we've got. See what else we got going on. How much time do we have? Do I have time to keep painting? Yes, of course I do. Okay. So let's do the individual one. What can we do with this one next? So we could come in with some of that phthalo green, right? Just like we did with the pink and orange card, we could do that same thing here, where we would just add it and then work it out. See what happens. I mean, that's just it. It's just one great big experiment, right? Rinse our brush. And just know that we can, so we're going to soften that line right there. We can do this adding part with any color. It doesn't have to be that phthalo green. It could be the sap green. We could tap some of that out and make a paint with that. Get some water. Right? And then we can do that same kind of idea. Just add some periodically, like just every now and again. Right? And then come back. Soften that line. But do you see how you can make it your own? You can make it whatever you want it to be. But I just feel like the base of Color Burst lends itself to you freeing up like so much creative energy, right? You can't control it. You can't make it what you, it's not going to look like a traditional flower, right? So you know what, let's do that water splat on this one and then pull some up and see what we get, because I feel like it needs to be lightened up a little bit. So do you see I'm just squirting water in my hand and then I'm just sprinkling it down, and then I'm just going to let it sit there for a minute, pull up some of that color, make some big white splotches. That's kind of cool. Which one don't you have? The phthalo? Is that the one you don't have? Or the sap green? I kind of like that one the best just because I tend to go to, hey Patricia, I just tend to lean more toward brights and not like earth tones. But you know, I don't deny myself anything because, you know, oh, shut up. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it. So now I wonder what would happen if we take the mister and I just kind of mist. So the sap green must be the one that you need to Keels. Right in the center. So I feel like I want that to be lighter. Perfect. 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 And that is really pulling up lots of color, right? So we can continue to deepen color, we can splatter it with white, we can splatter it with white and let it sit for a bit, and then come back and fiddle with these little flowers. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that. This one, it seems that the little flowers are all pretty coordinated, but you know what I'm thinking might be kind of cool, juxtaposed to this really super organic artsy background, is if we did some like glossy accents on just those flowers around the edge. I don't know why that's kind of in my head, but we'll see. We'll see. So this one, maybe we should just set it aside and then start fiddling with this one a little bit more. Okay, so like the last one, we need to break up the fibers. Can I tell, seriously? This was my favorite, and now I think this one is. Stop it. It's so pretty. Ah, I love it so much. All right, so I'm feeling like these flowers might need that pop. So I need to find my darkest color and then pull that, do that behind, because I feel like that made all the difference with this, right? This dark made all the difference. So I'm feeling like that might be the way to go with this one too. And I believe that was this one, wasn't it? Let's see. Yep. Because it comes out and look at how brown it looks. Isn't that weird? Weird, weird. So let's get some water. Mix up that like paint. that I'm feeling like. Yep, this is the answer. Except this brush is too big, but look at, we'll do right here. It's a big area. Perfect. So, I hope that you will be inspired to dig out some old art supplies and find a new way to play with them. Find a new, you know, stuck my finger in there. Just find a new way. Okay, down here is going to be a little bit tricky, I think, because of all of this purple, but I think if we have just the purple flowers showing, that is going to be cute. So I can do my big areas with this brush, and then I think I need to come in with a smaller brush. I can get lots of color on with this, and then come in, whoops, with this one. Move that color around a little bit more. Anybody else hooked on the Lifetime Hallmark Christmas movies? I was talking to my niece this morning and I was like, you know what? I just love them. And Jeff's like, do you have them just on like one just right after another? And I said, yeah. And he goes, they seem kind of alike. Oh, they are completely alike. You know what? They're just feel good, nice, homey, warm stories. I just love them. They always have a happy ending. And I know they're completely unrealistic, but I don't care. You know what? During this time in our lives, I feel like it's the perfect remedy. And they're kind of like, I'm always doing something else when they're on. They're just kind of a nice backdrop, you know? Oh my gosh, I feel like this is really making the rest of it pop. And it just gives the whole piece a really painterly feel. Like it makes all of the details of the three flowers just pop. I think that's really kind of what I needed today. Isn't that funny how sometimes if you're open to it, it just happens the way it's supposed to. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. And I like that I can still see. Oh no, Keely. It is a complete work in process. Process. Well, it's a process too. Not even close. Well, I can see the end. Do you know what I mean? You know when you're working on something like that and you're starting to see your vision come into place. And it doesn't have to be pleasing to anyone except me. I'm the one who works in there every day. I just felt like it was time, and I'd be able to think more clearly. Do you know what I mean? Like I'd be able to see things in a better way. And I'm getting ready to launch a new year of this little business. It started in May. So I feel like, oh my gosh, you guys, look how pretty that looks. I feel like this needs to be deeper now, though, don't you? I feel like bits more green or yellows and orange. More orange, I think. Marigold. I know, Keely, would you come over and help me, for crying out loud? I really could use you and your organizational skills. And just some girlfriend time, you know? Can I talk to you about that? Is one of the things I'm missing the most, is just girlfriend time. You know, just hanging out, just chatting. I know, Keels, I know. When this thing's over, we just need to meet somewhere and just hole up in a hotel room and make stuff. Oh my gosh, I think that looks so much better. All right, so I'm going to take some of this and move it over here. You could all join us. We would love that. We would love that. Just have one big artsy day. Would that be the most? Wouldn't that just be the most? All right. I'm feeling like I'm liking it a lot more. Like it feels like it's an equal to these two, you know? This was looking kind of plain Jane, and it needed to compete. It needed to find it. It needed to have its place with these other two. Don't you think, Nance? Nancy, you need to pull out those color bursts this afternoon. Print something on watercolor paper and play, play, play. Okay. And I know it's time to go, isn't it? But you know what? Look at that. I know it seems like a process, but seriously, you guys, I got three images painted in an hour. Fabulous. So this one, I think I'm going to probably do some of the same that I did on this one. I started to do the background. I'm feeling like maybe up here I need to add some of that green in this corner and then do some of the white splatters, because why wouldn't I? And maybe maybe, I don't know, something shiny maybe, or I don't know. But seriously, this flower is everything. Everything. And now I feel like I want to print some more things on watercolor paper and use more color burst. How about you? I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you stuck with me this long. And I hope that you'll pull something out of your cabinet. Pull something out of your art drawer that you haven't played with in a long time and find a new way. Scroll, I'm telling you, you know, we all scroll Instagram, but sometimes take it to the next level. Take whatever you see on Instagram, take it to the next level and have it inspire you to really like pull those things out and play with them more. I do feel like this needs like a little dark down here, don't you? I think that will. I know. Maybe I'll send it to my aunt. I will. I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you make your time to spend with me. every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. So now it is Tuesday. So Thursday, what will we do on Thursday? Something fun, I'm sure. I adore you all. I'm so grateful that you came and made some art with us. With me. And I'll see you Thursday. Bye.